Part 3. I didn't sleep well at all last night, which made my day particularly bad, as I had to go to my uncle's funeral. Those things are draining enough even when you are well rested. It broke my heart watching my aunt crying today. She lost a good man, who would do anything for anyone and loved and cared for her so deeply. She is 86 and I fear she won't be far behind him. I also got to see my cousin's widow. He died about 10 years ago of cancer at age 50. She is a wonderful person who also lost a great husband and father, and I always looked up to him like the big brother I never had when I was a kid. It got me thinking how either of these women would do anything to have their spouses back, and how much they appreciated and loved them. My wife had that love and dedication, and she threw it away. It was good to see extended family, and I'm going to make a better effort to stay closer with them, as my sisters both live far away. I need good people like that in my life. On the ride home, my sister told me what my one female cousin said about my wayward wife. I didn't know her that well, but she always seemed so cold. I'm hearing a lot of this now about her. Reader comment. On the ride home, my sister told me what my one female cousin said about my wayward wife. I didn't know her that well, but she always seemed so cold. I'm hearing a lot of this now about her. I would pull the following from your cousin's statement. Your wayward wife was never quite who you thought. Your family is there for you and will support you. As your wayward wife has moved on, keep working on getting yourself healed and start minimizing how much of your thoughts wayward wife occupies. It sounds like you have a wonderful extended family that will be there for you. Keep leaning on them. Original poster. Thanks. I agree, she truly was never who I believed, and my therapist says the same thing. It's just saddening to think about. I do a little better every day getting wayward wife further from my thoughts. In fact, this morning I was thinking that I don't really miss her so much at the moment. I'm just really pissed at her for what she has done to me mentally, emotionally, and physically. I'm the one totally paying the price for her misdeeds. My extended family is great, and I really appreciate them. Well, met with wayward wife today to review settlement agreement. I won't get into specifics, but I did really well overall, coming out with more than I initially expected. Again, won't get into specifics. She agreed with nearly everything, negotiating one minor item that I can deal with. She was surprised that I had started the divorce proceedings, since she was the one who had originally asked for that on D-Day, but never did anything about it. I told her I'm not living in limbo anymore with a wife shacking up with another man. She was strangely chipper and talkative today, almost nice, much more so than her reserved nature last time. It was a bit odd to say the least. I tried my best not to engage deeply and was pretty calm overall. She did make it abundantly clear that she has totally moved on with AP, not that I asked. She's still not happy with the very strained relationship with one of our sons and still nothing at all from the other, as well as nothing from her parents. She sounds done with them. She did visit her one brother over the weekend, not surprising there. She said she hadn't heard from the other, though Sil over there did text me the other day to see how I was doing. What was really tough was I hadn't seen her in a month, and even after all the hurt, the emotions flooded back. She looked really pretty today, and it hurt so much to see that. All I saw was the woman I thought she was before all this, maybe because she was so nice today. I'm trying to steer myself back, reminding what she has done, but this was a real tough moment and I'm struggling emotionally tonight, feeling super depressed, which I haven't in a while. This all just sucks. Reader comment. Pretty on the outside, not so pretty on the inside. Just remember, she's not the person you married, sadly. Original poster. I know. Just a bad moment of weakness. Just so saddened about ending up in this horrible place. Reader comment. Late to the story, but I have to give you props. You got to a final conclusion pretty quickly, which will enable your healing. Your kids are on your side. Don't portray chivalry. Keep them there. It shows their respect for you. Don't defend your wayward wife. Let her do that on her own. It is sad she decided to blow up 30 years over this. You are ahead of the game on your dividing the assets. Play hardball on the 401 Kelvin and you are still in your 50s with a great life ahead of you. Look, people break. Make sure you don't. She already has. The easiest way to look at it is that she's not who you married anymore, and detach. Detach and detach. Invest in your kids and your friends. Hobbies. I would block her out. After 30 years, she doesn't even deserve you as a friend at this point, and with both kids being adults, you don't even have to co-parent. Just live your life, bro. Original poster. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. The 401 is the one area I did certainly come out ahead in what we negotiated. I should be able to go back to NC and detach more with this segment behind me. I've already shot down her thought of being friends on the other side of this, as I can't have her in my life if I'm going to heal. Having NC for a month was good, and today set me back, so that reinforces pretty clearly the need to continue that. Since I had already vetoed her coming to the house at Christmas to spend it with our sons as a family, she threw out today she'd like to at least see them at her place. I told both my sons that this evening and they both laughed. Yeah, not happening. I did tell her that have made it abundantly clear in the past they will not be in Om's presence ever. Reader comment, she may have dressed and put makeup purposely for this meeting. How is her alcohol intake? Any increase indicates she is presenting I am so happy and confident face for your consumption. Better to finalize the separation agreement ASAP. Many times, they change their mind. Do not do anything to make her angry, like saying what she can do and cannot and how sons are feeling about her. Play the sad lost lover mode in dealing with her until the papers are signed. Original poster, I have no idea. I'm sure it's still a few drinks a night. Can't see that having changed with the issue of her sons and parents still hanging over her head. She did look like she'd lost a little weight too. I need to remind myself she's a good actress, based on her ability to fool me for so long that everything was fine. She obviously has an uncanny ability to compartmentalize. It's not legally official, but she and I both signed the settlement agreement. I'll get the attorney to clean up and make it official so that we can both properly sign that one notarized, witnessed, etc. Reader comment, I feel as though I could have almost written this myself. I'm so incredibly sorry for the pain you're feeling. It's truly a visceral pain. I'm not quite 3 weeks from D-Day, and when I do manage to sleep, I jolt awake in a complete panic almost on the hour. Daily exercise has been my only savior ... and I'm hardly a health nut. It's 1 hour of me time that doesn't hurt quite so much. I've lost the same amount of weight as you exactly, but think of it as the silver lining to all this crap. You sound as though you're far stronger than I've been through this. I'm still stuck in the bargaining phase. So, pat yourself on the back for that. And that whole I've been unhappy for years crap. Don't take it to heart. I'm convinced that's a tool to relieve their guilt about the I take comfort in statistics and the data show. She'll dump him or he'll dump her. It's only a matter of time. Karma's coming for them. Original poster, thank you for the sympathy, and I'm sorry you are in this position too. I may seem stronger, but that definitely comes and goes, and I have plenty of horrible moments. Though I'm at least eating a bit better of late. The sleep deprivation is still a killer, but I got back to doctor next week and hopefully they can give me something different to break the pattern. Best of luck to you as you move forward. The saving grace from me has been both therapy and good caring people in general to talk to. I hope you have a good support system. Reader comment, hey Trout, how are you doing? Original poster, it's been a rough week actually. My doctor switched my sleep medication to Ambien on Monday. Not only has it not really helped, but it has really screwed me up depression-wise and makes me feel like crap physically. I have mentally felt like crap the last 2 days and would frankly just go back to my other medication, which at least targets my depression. My one sister and one of my dearest old friends have been rocks for me this week. I've really leaned hard on them. Hopefully it's just a phase because I was doing pretty well last week. Getting some kind of better energy level would certainly help a lot. I've got a lot to talk to my therapist about Friday. My oldest son still has no plans to speak to her and younger son only had that one brief contact. I had dinner with her parents the other night and they still aren't even considering budging to talk to her at all. One tidbit I got from my MIL was that she and wayward wife get their hair cut by the same woman. The stylist told MIL that wayward wife was in last week. I think she left a lot out about the conversation in confidence, but did say to MIL that WW said, I'm an emotional wreck and a shell of my former self. So, there's that. I should be able to stay and see for the foreseeable future as divorce paperwork works its way through the system. Thanks as always for the support everyone. Reader comment, if wayward wife tells the hairstylist that you are an emotional wreck, then you need to keep everything about you secret. She is the wreck. She just kissed her entire past goodbye. Original poster, sorry for the confusion. She was talking about herself. I've kept how I'm feeling well away from her. I know she gets fuel from the pain. Reader comment, I love how the one son of yours reminded her of the moral upbringing and how she failed. It speaks volumes that she is ready to wash her hands of them. Original poster, that statement was about her parents, not our sons. Reader comment, sounds like she is posturing and whining to her hairdresser for sympathy, while in reality she is just fine with the destruction she has caused. Original poster, I actually do think she is suffering. Nothing about what she did to me, almost elusively about our sons. Reader comment, so, nothing about what she did to you. Nothing about what she did to her sons. Her complaint was about the impact that the consequences of her actions have had on her. Life is so unfair. She has clearly had an empathy bypass, to say the least. This is why a communications bypass ACA. No contact is definitely your best option. Original poster, well, she's a narcissist of some variation, so it is always about how it affects them. And no, she has no empathy. I know that well. Reader comment, it sounds like she created a fantasy master plan in which she could run off with another man but still be a loved and cherished member of the family she dumped. With a permanent open door to show up and be welcomed on national holidays, birthdays, and at Christmas to receive praise, love, gratitude, and appreciation because everyone loves an abuser and that's how reality works. Or not, as the case may be. Original poster, look back a few pages about her delusion of the 4 of us spending Christmas together that I shot right down. Me and the sons are certainly going to spend holidays together to her exclusion. Just not sure what yet. Their grandparents are very supportive and close to them, so we'll likely keep them somewhere in the loop. Reader comment, your happiness is not dependent on her unhappiness. Detach. If you visit with your in-laws, then steer away from discussions on how she is and focus on how you are. If somebody starts telling you that her butcher noticed she's buying pork instead of beef, not your concern. Not any more than some rumors from her hairdresser. I want to suggest one thing to help with sleep and emotional recovery. Do something physical that you enjoy. Play golf. Go to the driving range and empty 2-3 buckets. Trout. Go practice your cast in the park. Measure out 30, 60 and 90 feet and learn to hit the exact target. Jog. I think jogging and weightlifting is what saved me back in the day. It's hard to think of your mental misery when you are struggling for your next breath running up a slope. Walk. You can do this right now with little preparation. Put on some good shoes, maybe some earbuds and a good podcast and go walk for at least an hour per day. All the items I mentioned tend to be repetitive. Your swing is the same again and again. Same with your cast. Same with running or walking. Done with intent, it focuses your thoughts on those actions and distracts your brain from your misery. You might go back to those thoughts, but then you notice your drive drops and you refocus, your cast shortens, and you refocu. It's good mental training. Plus it physically wears you out. That helps you sleep. Original poster, appreciate the thoughts and suggestions. I think I'm caught in a loop of having zero energy to do any of those things. I'm working on it, trust me. I did play Sunday and was pretty exhausted that night. But still no change in the sleep deprivation. If I can just get over the sleep hurdle, it will really help me. I had a busy, hectic day at work and quite frankly, didn't do my job as I'm capable because of the fatigue. I'm basically at 9 weeks now with 4-5 hours a night. Something has to give. I may need a sleep professional at this point. I am sorry if I missed details in this thread. Did you file for divorce yet? Yes. Are you allowing your kids free rein on how to deal with their mom? Yes, they are 24 and 27. They are making their own way on this. The one hasn't spoken to her, the other a brief, very awkward terse dinner. That was it for him. Are you doing things you enjoy? Doing my best. I would be better with that with more energy. I'm constantly exhausted from the lack of sleep. My therapist today suggested I need a sleep specialist. And I agree. Have you told her friendship is not an option? When she asked weeks ago if the four of us could do something for Christmas together, I shot that down. I told her you are either my loving, faithful wife or you are out of my life when this divorce is final. You have already clearly not chosen the former. It will be fun when this new guy dumps her at some point and she comes back. If that happens, shut the door. I can never fathom throwing 30 years into the wind. Something is off with her. Obviously, the narcissistic attitude has been brought up here. The door is closed. Something is very off with what she has done, no doubt. As my therapist says, her behavior checks nearly every box of covert narcissism. There is zero empathy, zero regret, zero remorse. It is just so shocking how you can throw me away in the blink of an eye like yesterday's trash, with no clue it was coming on my part, and move right in with while we are still married. Reader comment, my suggestions for sleep based on the latest research on the brain and sleep. Cool dark room, same time each night. No food or alcohol 6 hours before bed unless you need it for med. No TV or computer screen an hour before sleep. No bright lights, loud TV or music. No worrisome topics. Dim the light and listen to quiet music half an hour before bed. Take deep breaths and let racing thoughts come, then dismiss them. Take a bath or shower and let your body cool down to bring on drowsiness. Wake at sunrise. This seems to line up the brain for sleep later on. Do some exercise every day. Stress chemicals switch sleep and exercise burns them off and out of your blood. No caffeine after 2 p.m. The brain needs healthy fats. Olive and sesame oil are really good for the heart and arteries. An omega-type fish oil is great too. You need good fats for the brain to release the good things your body needs. Not too much carbs. They give a blood sugar rush that feels good, but then your blood sugar crashes and that messes up sleep patterns. Try for a fist-sized portion with a meal. Eat as many veggies as you can. You absolutely need all the micronutrients and antioxidants. Eat bright colored foods. Dark greens and reds and berries of all kinds. Blueberries and cranberries are cancer fighters too. They also help you build over 400 new neurons while you sleep. You need to sleep to replace the neurons. You need sleep to renew old cells and build new ones. Please look up autotroph. Your cells need to take out the trash and any lingering stuff like COVID spike protein hanging around. Autotroph does this. You need a good diet of clean foods and sleep to break those toxins and unwanted foreign chemicals down. Then you can feel energetic from the cellular level out. Tell yourself every night when you are sitting in dim light and letting hard thoughts and frustrations go that you will sleep well and wake with energy. Give yourself something good to look forward to in the morning. You are telling yourself you will read and refresh your body at D-Mind. You tell yourself this every night. You are training your mind. It's important. That last 30 minutes of the day is for you. It's essential. Sleeping 6 hours or less for 5 or more days is for your brain like being drunk. You can't be thinking or driving your best. Sleep patterns made all the difference in my health. You can train 6 hours so you can sleep naturally again. If your thoughts won't go, write them down and say you'll look tomorrow. Maybe learn to stretch on a soft mat before bed 8 in the dim light. Stretching releases stress. Positive thoughts trout. You will heal and have a good life. Be good to yourself. Original poster, thanks for the advice. I check almost all of those boxes. Had another horrific night last night. Bed at 10:15, asleep within 5 minutes or so. Woke up at 2:50 and then tossed and turned mostly awake with occasional doze-offs until I crawled out of bed at 8:30. I tried the ambience again last night and that clearly doesn't help, and I feel lousy today. I even took 50 milligrams of trazodone, my other medication, when I woke up at 2:50. Don't think it did a lot. I am going to call the sleep center near me tomorrow for an appointment. I can't keep going like this. My son sent me a YouTube clip from Top Gun that I just watched. Adrenaline rush kind of scene. I literally felt shaky and ill after watching, I think because my levels are already so high to begin with. I read an article yesterday about how these things keep feeding on themselves and the body keeps producing more adrenaline due to the heightened anxiety, which leads to more insomnia. Reader comment, I literally slept 45 minutes a night for 3 months. It was the shock of it all. It eventually and slowly improved. No drugs or sleep aids. Just finally stopped having the anxiety stop the sleep. During the day I would get a 20-minute nap in. That was my only relief. But it was only about 90 days and then I'd sleep 5 hours a night, which honestly felt like a vacation. Meanwhile the cheater is sleeping soundly beside me. Original poster, my god, how did you manage that? I know how badly I'm struggling with 4-5 hours a night. I mentioned up thread about my uncle dying a few weeks ago. I spent the day with my aunt, mostly to see how she was holding up. I also broke the news to her about wayward wife and the affair. She was devastated and it was nice to both share our grief together a bit. She was a big part of my life growing up, as I lost my mother to cancer when I was 16 and she was quite helpful to the family. The silver lining in the whole affair nightmare is realizing how many amazing people I truly have in my life. I am truly grateful for all of them, and it does help restore my faith in humanity a bit in light of how brutally I was betrayed by the one I thought was closest to me. Not much new here to report, still working on the sleep and trying to get the stress levels down. My family continues to be amazing with the support. My sisters are always there for me when I just need to talk. Out of the blue, wayward wife sent me a text the other day with a link to an article about someone we both know who got in trouble recently with the law. Thought you might find this interesting. Seriously. This shows the fatal flaw in these affair relationships for older adults. Lack of shared history. AP has no idea about this person or for that matter most of wayward wife life really, so she couldn't share it with him. I had a snarky reply lined up, yeah, the world is full of SHTTY people, but I wisely remained NC. My attorney says she will likely be served next week with the divorce papers. It can be done certified mail, but she said she's had problems with the cards coming back etc. I'm actually kind of glad the process server will knock on AP's door to hand off the papers. I could have told my attorney to serve her at work, but that might really piss wayward wife off and I need to keep things calm since we currently have a settlement agreement that is very favorable to me. WW really gets her back up when things upset her. Reader comment, I have read your entire thread. Your posts and the responses to them have been so helpful to me. Our stories are very similar, but you are a few weeks ahead of me in this journey. I am about to be 54 years and have been married for 32 years. My big reveal day was just 7/31/22, but I got the bonus kicker, who told me that day was O gave birth to his child that morning. Anyway, I know this is your thread, not mine, but I just wanted to let you know that we will be okay eventually. I have been getting together with old friends each week and it really gives me something to look forward to. I have been trying to get out of the house so I don't feel lonely and sad. Thank you for giving us updates. I hope you are able to sleep well soon. Original poster, thank you for the kind thoughts. I am so sorry about your situation as well. I can't imagine how awful that is with the pregnancy in the picture. It sounds like your children may be close in age to mine. How are they handling the situation? What has their relationship become like with their father? You've read how mine are handling it, and nothing has really changed in that regard. Spent the day with both of them watching football at my eldest apartment. They have gone above and beyond to just spend time with me and has really helped me a lot. Reader comment, good idea keeping your mouth shut. After the divorce is settled in your favor and is granted, guess what? She will hear the prison gates of her life with arms slammed shut and lock. Cancel Christmas for the rest of her life as well. See how close you can come to guessing how long it will take to cheat on your wayward wife. Original poster, oh, believe me, that is done and more done. There is no friend zone in our future. Here's the thing, I don't think he will. He's coveted her a long time from when they worked together according to my son who has read this right from the get-go. He thinks he's won the prize, and I'm sure he is kissing the SHT out of her ass, which why she thinks she's found true love. The external validation is exactly what she was looking for because she'd been unhappy for a long time. Well honey, that's on you, no one else can make you happy in the end. Reader comment, I just saw this post on your thread. Thanks for posting on mine. My daughter is 24 and lives out of state. Since my STBXH decided to spring the news of his affair and new baby on us after my kids and I had just been together at his sister's lake house, I haven't been able to see my daughter or hug her. She is very angry and hurt. Even so, because this other person was at our home and involved in our lives up to March 2021. The other woman is only a few years older than my daughter and had maintained a social media friendship with her up until May. All the while knowing that she was pregnant with my husband's baby. My husband hasn't even made an attempt to contact his daughter since August 16th when he finally told her about the paternity test results. She told him not to bother contacting her if he was just going to give lip service to "I'm sorry" and not taking responsibility for his actions or why he could have admitted to the affair for the pregnancy long before the birth. My son is 22 and lives at home with me. He has to have seen him several times in the last 6 weeks and he's mostly confused and hurt but not as much angry as his sister. Their dad didn't make much effort sometimes and he's really showing his true colors now. I told the kids that I had thought about leaving him many times over the years, but I didn't have anywhere to go, and I thought this was the best thing for them because at least if he was in the house, he would see them. I thought if I left, he would not make an effort to be a good father and spend time with them. He has to work 6 days a week 10 to 12 hours a day, so he used his job as an excuse for being a crappy husband and a crappy father. Well, it's been 6 weeks and he was served papers 2 weeks ago. He has till the end of the month to answer them and produce all the documents. I just can't wait to get this divorce going. I heard rumors that the courts are all backed up, but I'm hopeful that this can be done quickly since he definitely has made in a case for adultery, and he left me. If I think about all that's ahead of me and all the stress and uncertainty of where to live, where to work, and how am I going to afford everything, I get really upset. I am in individual counseling, and she's been seeing me once a week instead of every 2. The very confusing part of all this is who made more effort this year than he ever did. I guess it was the guilt. He attended virtual counseling with me every 2 weeks and started going to Gamblers Anonymous. He made more of an effort to spend time with me although he wasn't affectionate, so I have to wonder why most people don't realize that I was totally blindsided by this. Anyway, my daughter is coming in this week to visit for my birthday, and I will get to hug her, so I am so excited. We are going to celebrate my birthday all week before she goes back Sunday night. I asked her if she wanted to see her father and she said no, because all I really want to do is hit him. His mother knows that my daughter is coming into town and hopefully she won't tell him. His mom is 87 and sends me texts almost every day about how she is on our side, and she can't forgive him. But I found out Saturday he came to visit her, and I came Saturday night and she never bothered to tell me that he had been there that day. Makes me wonder what else she's hiding. Also makes me wonder if she gave him money for a lawyer. That's my problem. I have these burning questions that I want to have answered because I just don't get what he did to me. I don't want him back in any capacity, but I would love to know more details to fill the holes in this story because some days I just don't even believe what has happened to me. I hope you're sleeping better. I went to the gym for over an hour yesterday and it really helped me get some sleep last night. Hang in there. I hear we'll be okay eventually. Original poster, thanks for the thoughts. Even though my younger son had the briefest of encounters with wayward wife a few weeks ago, my eldest is still NC. She hasn't really done much on her end to fix it really. I'd be trying everything in my power to mend things with my children in this situation. I did hear she has been whining to her brother about eldest and the zero contact and crying when his name is mentioned. But from the sound of it, as usual it is all about how it is affecting her. Her parents still have no plans to speak to her either. On my end, still NC, which has been good, and don't see any reason for that to change anytime soon. She is going to have to get in touch at some point as the weather cools. She failed to take any of her outerwear with her when I thought she got the last of her things. Mad she also hasn't changed her address, and I'm getting annoyed by the pile of mail. Hope there's nothing time critical. I'm waiting on my attorney to get back to me on timing of divorce papers being served. Reader comment, put her outerwear and any other BS she may come back for and mail it to her. Have someone drop it off. Whatever you have to do to minimize her ability to mess with you any further. Original poster, ha. You have no idea how much that would cost me to ship. The woman must have 20 coats, jackets, vests. Have I mentioned she has a spending problem? Can't imagine who I'd get to drop it off either. No one in my camp is going to be willing to do that. Reader comment, that puts the onus on her to either collect or dump her stuff, and it removes any reason for her to return to your place. Original poster, problem is it is still our place. Her name on the deed with mine. Can't legally keep her out. I'm going to drop her current pile of mail in a large envelope at her office on a day she isn't there with a note to change the address. Her mother actually told me to just take it to the post office and say she doesn't live here and I don't have a forwarding address. LOL. At this point I am likely going to put her mail in a large envelope and mail it to her with a note inside to change her address. Done. Does she have family in town? If yes, drop her crap off there. Her parents live 10 minutes from me. However, they have completely cut off all contact with her. Don't think that will work. Her 2 siblings each live about 1.5 hours away, and I really don't have any desire to interact with them at the moment. I'll figure it out when she actually comes looking for the stuff. Just working to stay and see as best I can. Had an email exchange with my attorney today. The divorce complaint is time-stamped with the county today, and she will likely be served in 2-3 days. 90-day waiting period after that, before it is all filed, and then probably another 45 days to finality. My attorney also cleaned up the settlement agreement and it looks good to go. Reader comment, excellent. Hope the deal goes ahead smoothly and as quick as possible. No contact is absolutely the best way to go for your healing. Reading your story, as with so many others, it is hard to fathom the type of person who can lead a double life, all the while pretending to be a loving W and mother while plotting and scheming a massive betrayal. Most of us can never understand such behavior. There is no answer. Your wayward wife, from what you have described, is supremely selfish and entitled. I have no idea whether she is a narcissist. That term gets thrown around a lot. But the way you and your boys have been treated so coldly without shame or regret is consistent with narcissist discard. Strength to you. You are doing well. I hope you are getting better sleep. Good luck. Original poster, thank you. Sleep is still generally elusive. NC has been good as it removes me from her toxic presence. I've had no interaction at all for about 3 weeks, and that should continue. It would have been hard for me to fathom this too before D-Day. I did get some nice news yesterday. My sister and her family are going to make the trip from Texas for Thanksgiving. I haven't seen her in person in a couple of years. I was so excited when she told me. It's going to be a ton of work for me to pull it off myself, but to have them and my boys with me will be pretty awesome. It does make me a bit melancholy for a minute thinking about it. Wayward wife and I were an amazing team at making Thanksgiving dinner. We each had our specific specialties and could pull it off in our sleep. I'll get it done. Reader comment, how are you doing with your sleep? Any better? I just saw an article on CNN about the 4-7-8 breathing method that can help you sleep better. I believe it is a yoga breathing technique. I couldn't post the link on the forum, but I think you could find it on their website. I have had some difficult moments this week, but good ones too, with my daughter here until tomorrow evening. I hope you are able to go out and enjoy the beautiful weather this weekend. I figured Pa was having great weather too since we are state neighbors. Smile. I am glad your family is coming to be with you for Thanksgiving. I know the holidays will be difficult for us this year. Original poster, sadly, no better. My sleep specialist app. As in a few weeks, I had waves of panic attacks in the middle of the night last night, which was pretty awful. I'll look up the article, thanks. Yes, our weather is perfect today too. I am playing golf with my 2 sons this afternoon. Couldn't ask for anything more. Just hope I have the energy. Last time we played, my son wrote "just have fun" on my line on the scorecard on the first hole. Thought that was pretty great. The holidays are going to be tough for all of us going through this for the first time. Just going to do my best to create new memories. I have to say, I do love your screen name. I too couldn't be prouder of my 2 sons. Reader comment, I wonder if Ender might help with the sleep. If your therapist doesn't do it, he can probably refer you to someone who can. My sleep was driving me crazy after D-Day. Unlike people who have nightmares, my brain just absolutely refused to go anywhere near the trauma. If it popped in, I woke up immediately, exhausted, but unable to get back to sleep. They say you do a lot of processing while you're sleeping, kind of like sorting your files, I guess. And I just wasn't doing that. I would fall asleep for a couple of hours and sleep like the dead. But as soon as I started dreaming, my brain would just flat out go nah and wake me up to keep me from touching on it. Scientists don't understand exactly how EMDR works, but it's thought that mimicking REM sleep while dealing with your trauma can shift those sticky memories from improper storage and file them where they ought to be. I didn't start EMDR until years later, but I did notice quite a bit of improvement, particularly with visceral symptoms like queasiness, aches, and sleep problems. It's immersive obviously, so you might feel really emotional for a few hours after a session, but for me, the results were so worth it. Anyway, it's a thought. One other thing that worked for me is putting on the TV, but only on very, very familiar programming. Things I've watched so many times that I know them word for word, and with a lot of dialogue so you're not hearing big explosions and action scenes. It's a Wonderful Life works gangbusters, mostly because I've seen it 100 times and don't need to see the screen to know exactly what's happening. It's enough to keep the mind from wandering to unpleasantness, but not so interesting as to keep me tuned in. Thanks for watching the video. Please click the thumbnail to watch part 4 of the saga.